Welcome back to State and Local Government. Today we're going to be talking about Chapter 1 in the textbook, and that particular chapter talks about the political culture of Texas, demographic trends, the economy, and other things that set the stage for what's to come the rest of the textbook and the rest of the semester. The first thing we're going to talk about is the characteristics of the political culture, the Texas culture. Texas is unlike most other states in the United States, not just in terms of its population, but also in terms of its size, of its economy, political trends that have occurred over the course of Texas history. Texas started out obviously as a colony or a province of Mexico, settled by what we now term Anglo-American settlers, primarily Anglo settlers from the United States who came to Texas and participated in the growth of the Austin colony in central and southeast Texas. These people who settled there had a strong background in terms of politics, in terms of engaging with their government. They came here because of opportunity, but they were proud to be from the United States. And they understood their rights as American citizens. They came to Texas, part of Mexico, and they understood that they were part of Mexico, and quite simply what they asked of the Mexican government is that they be granted the same rights that Mexican citizens had, similar to what happened with the United States. The people who lived in the American colonies simply wanted the same rights as all Englishmen. Nothing less, nothing more. And when they couldn't get them, they decided to separate. Well, the Texians, as they were sometimes called, simply wanted the same rights as Mexican citizens. Nothing more, nothing less. But they couldn't quite get that. And so they decided to fight for their independence. And you have a whole series of events from the Alamo and Goliad to the Battle of San Jacinto, ultimately leading to the formation of the Texas Republic. That set the stage for not just the government of the Republic, but the government of what eventually became the state of Texas. It set the stage for many things to come that still determine how you as Texas citizens are governed today. Of course, we were a state, and then we ceased to be a state of the United States, and that was during the American Civil War. We were one of the states that seceded from the Union and became part of the Confederate States of America. After the war was over and the United States won, Texas was occupied by northern forces, by Union armies, and Texans weren't happy with how that turned out. Texas was occupied during this Reconstruction period for about 10 years. And at the end of the 10 years, when Texans were allowed to reclaim their state, they wrote a constitution that is still in force today, that was based on several premises. And many of those premises, many would consider to be antiquated in today's world, because in those days Texas was a rural state. Most people lived outside of cities. Most people lived on farms and ranches. Needs were different, wants were different. Things have changed. But we still have that same governing document. And that governing document continues to be not just a focal point for how Texas governs us today, but it's also a focal point in terms of how this state grows and the challenges that this state has in terms of not just the economy, not just politics, but certainly in terms of ethnicity. The demographics of Texas have changed. And in fact, Texas, currently a Republican state. Republicans control all statewide offices. They control the state Supreme Court. They control the state Senate and the state House of Representatives. But that's anticipated to change, and change in probably about 10 years. The reason it is anticipated that that will change and that Texas will shift back to a Democratic-controlled state is because of the demographic trend of the fact that Hispanics are growing in terms of their size in the state of Texas. Hispanics are the fastest growing minority group in the United States and the fastest growing minority group in Texas. It is anticipated, because we study everything in the United States and in Texas, it is anticipated because most Hispanics vote Democratic, that once the Hispanic population reaches a certain level, a certain percentage of the population, and if they continue to vote Democratic, that Texas, as a result of Hispanic votes, will become a Democratic state. Now there is another, by the way, growing population, minority population in the United States and in Texas. Hispanics are now what are considered the majority minority in Texas and the United States. That means they're the largest minority group in the state of Texas and the United States. But that's only expected to continue until the year 2050. In 2050, it is expected that Asian Americans will become the majority minority in the United States. And we certainly have large pockets of Asian populations in the state of Texas. For example, there are entire neighborhoods in the suburbs of Houston that are made up of Vietnamese people, many of them who have never spoken English in their lives. They continue to this day to speak Vietnamese. So this demographic trend is something that is ongoing. It changes. It has changed since the time that we were the United States. We were founded as the United States, and it has changed since the formation of the Republic of Texas and then the state of Texas. So we're going to focus on that in this particular chapter. Let me give you a couple of assignments in this chapter. Since we're talking about demographic trends, I want you to pay specific attention to the sections of this chapter relative to demographic trends, and I want you to quite simply outline, send it to me in course messages in Blackboard, outline the 3 top demographic trends that are going to impact Texas politics in the next 20 to 30 years. Your other assignment is the economy of Texas. I want you in a very brief paragraph of approximately 75 to 100 words to, and again sent through Blackboard course messages, to tell me your summary of what the status of the Texas economy is. That's it for now. Next time we talk, it'll probably be on Chapter 2. Thanks for being part of this course, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Goodbye.